How do I hold myself accountable and make myself get off my ass and do what I need? Please subscribe. Have you ever thought about attending therapy? Maybe there's an underlying emotional piece to getting yourself going and motivated that's holding you back. Last year, I helped facilitate a men's therapy group on a college campus, and this theme was common. As for what else can help, I get a lot of joy out of crossing things off lists. I make them and break goals into small, measurable steps and then pick something easy to start with and then build from there. I have a severe problem with procrastinating. It's awful. I've been planning to start working out since July. I put off bills. I don't talk to anyone because I just put off replying. I intend to do it all. Then the moment passes and I say I'll do it tomorrow or in just a bit or whenever, and that day never comes. And then it goes on and on and on, and I need to change, but I have no clue how. How can I make myself do what I say I need to do? Don't just say you gotta do it, that's all, because if it were that easy I'd be fit and not on Reddit right now. Can anyone give me advice? I don't want to procrastinate my life into ruins. What I find that helps sometimes is saying to myself, you know what? I think I'll do this right now. Because if I don't, I'll just put it off another day. Sometimes I can say things like I'll shave by 5 p.m. Sometimes I shave before then, sometimes it's after 7 p.m. But it does help to set a time to do things. I follow a YouTuber who makes quarterly goals every 3 months and tries to do at least half of them by the end of the 3 months. Make routines. Set up auto payment for your bills. With anything in life, you have to just force yourself to do it for a while until it becomes routine and second nature. Until it becomes part of your day. Nike has a point. Just do it. You just have to get up and do it. Make a list for the day of all of the things that you need to complete. I think successful people understand the value of marginal gains. Nothing happens overnight. Make lists. If you accomplish anything on them, congratulate yourself because it's an improvement on yesterday. If there's things on the list that can be done in the next 5 minutes, do it. Once you start making those habits, you get on a roll and become more productive. Routine, discipline, courage. Pick the smallest unit of activity and do that. Okay, now you've started, just continue from there. Seriously, approach it that way. It tends to work. I read somewhere you should leave yourself visual reminders. For example, if you want to go to gym in the morning, simply saying I'm gonna go to gym never works. You have to prepare the night before by leaving your gym bag, water or whatever you need by the door or near your keys or sneakers, so you will see it the next day and that will make you want to go. Hope that made sense. Good luck. Something that always stuck with me is stop trying to find motivation to do something and just do it. I used to bargain with myself and say, okay, I'm going to hit snooze once and then I'll get up. It is simple at its root. That really helped me. Alarm goes off in the morning. Just sit up, get your bearings, and get your body moving. My therapist has got me saying anything is better than nothing. So, I don't have to clean the whole house at once, but I should give myself credit for unloading the dishwasher. It's amazing how the combination of not thinking in terms of all or nothing and self-compassion serve as motivation for additional effort. I've also learned not to beat myself up when I don't accomplish everything I wanted to. That's wasted energy that doesn't do anything except make it more difficult for me to move forward. Good luck. Side note, I once wrote a 10-page paper on procrastination for grad school in the half hour before class and the first 15 minutes of class. Got an A. There's something to be said for adrenaline. Tip from myself that I found particularly helpful for those small habits I didn't want to do. Timers. For example, take cleaning. I always hated doing it, I'd procrastinate super hard on it. But setting a 10-minute timer and telling myself I'm going to clean for 10 minutes and be done, that's super doable, and it's super doable the next day too. And then a week passes and you realize you've done an hour of cleaning instead of nothing. For example, take cleaning. I always hated doing it, I'd procrastinate super hard on it. But setting a 10-minute timer and telling myself I'm going to clean for 10 minutes and be done, that's super doable, and it's super doable the next day too. And then a week passes and you realize you've done an hour of cleaning instead of nothing. And for those habits that require more time, it helps you get in the habit and build on it. You can start with a 10-minute timer too. If you learn 10 minutes a day of French the first week, 20 minutes the second, then a month and a half later you're doing an hour per day, and that's already a real serious level of practice. It might not be as sound evidence as everyone else here is giving or applicable to all situations, but what works for me is public places. I find it very hard to procrastinate if I just go to a more productive environment. For example, study in the library or other public study spots in school. Go to the gym instead of attempting to work out at home. Go to the damn laundromat instead of staying home to do it. Might be a waste of money, but the point stands, etc. Literally, the hardest part is starting. I wish someone had told me that when I was younger, because it's definitely true. Start going to the places you want to, and accomplishing tasks is easier. Eventually you will develop the desire and routine to do those things at home, as well. As shocking as that might sound, hopefully that made sense. One little trick that I've found helpful: when you have a task that you want to procrastinate on, tell yourself you will count to 6, then do the task. Then count to 6 and do the task. Aristotle once wrote, "But the virtues we get by first exercising them," as also happens in the case of the arts as well. For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. E.g., men become builders by building, and lyre players by playing the lyre. So too we become just by doing just acts, temperate by doing temperate acts, brave by doing brave acts. So in essence, if you want to become more responsible about things, you need to start being responsible about things. Sounds like a cop-out, but think about it this way. You make sure to pay a bill on time once, then the second time, and then the third time you're suddenly aware of the bill until you pay it, generally right away. Same with working out, same with everything else. Start being hypercritical of yourself. For me, it's how I lost the weight I had on since I quit the swim team in high school. I just constantly thought of myself as a disgusting fat fuck until I got to the point where I realized that the taste of the donut wasn't a fraction as good as the feeling of looking good. I can actually see my Adam's apple now. Then once the weight was off, I had minor bingo wings, the flabby highly fat that hangs off your arms, so I started doing push-ups and sit-ups once or twice a day. There is no gym where I am currently, but once I have the chance I'll pick up some weights. Start with tiny things, like getting out of bed. Just get out of bed. Then do one thing to move you towards goal. Just do piecemeal steps. And you don't have to get everything done all the time. It's just small steps working towards something. Hell, even 10 minutes. It's a start.
If you're the kind of person who likes to make lists and tick things off, look into a bullet journal. Ignore all the fancy ones out there, it doesn't need to be fancy. Just stick to the basics. I like that it helps me to see what I've done. Still start with small things, don't set a task straight away to go to the gym every day. You'll just end up crossing it off and demotivating yourself even more. Set little chunks and build them up. It's so satisfying to tick things off, also satisfying to look back and see what you've achieved.
Activate airplane mode when you have things to do that don't involve your phone. I realized a while back how chronically addicted to our phones most of us are. It sucks up so much time, it's actually scary. Another thing that might help, if you have concrete errands and tasks to complete, go for a walk or a run, and whilst you're out, make a mental list or even a physical list of the thing you need to do for the day. When you get back from your walk, make it your absolute mission to dive straight into the tasks and don't stop until they're all done. I found giving myself space on a walk and then coming back and not giving myself even a chance to sit down really helps with accomplishing certain things. If life isn't moving forward, it's moving in reverse. The only person who can make decisions, decide your happiness, and force you to do something is you. If you want change, you have to change something. Maybe every time you miss a reply, you owe yourself 5 push-ups or something. Now you're working out and more likely to reply later. For me, what helped was internalizing that everything that I've ever done has been my decision, even when I felt like I had no choice. This meant that I was directly responsible for my current state in life, either by action or inaction. This also meant that I was the sole responsible for enacting the change I wanted in my life. Ever since I've felt so empowered, I've been making positive changes in my life. Also, make sure you work out consistently and eat healthy, as those things will keep you energized. You've just got to get up and do it, man. By far the hardest part of the process. Once you get up and start, you'll see that all the anxiety and lethargy you felt about doing it was silly. You keep just forcing yourself to do a thing until it becomes routine. I've been there. You just have to take a plunge regardless of your head telling you not to. I know it isn't what you want to hear, but taking that first step out of the door and into the gym is the hardest aspect of this battle. One small thing I did was make it easier to avoid mindless distractions. I am really bad at getting distracted and realized it's not entirely my fault, it's pretty unconscious. So what is in my power is to limit those distractions. I turned off all the notifications on my phone, including the LED light, except for incoming calls in case there's actually an emergency. And I put my phone physically far away from me. That way I only check it on my time, maybe once/hour, and not as a constant weird Pavlovian lurch when I hear a buzz. It totally controlled my life in a shallow way, and I feel relief that I have control. And it's much better, to see a bunch of notifications all at once and responding/reviewing them, rather than BZZ and seeing them piecemeal. If you get into a mindset of feeling that you have to earn your downtime, you'll start to feel guilty when you're sat on the sofa before doing what you need to do. Also, the feeling of chilling on the sofa after tasks are completed is much more rewarding. Sometimes it's like a very small, very illegal high. Wow, this is an incredibly tough question. I feel like anything I suggest could be met with "I'll do it later." Set reminders on your phone and don't clear them until you do them. Even if you snooze it, it'll start to get annoying. Or you could hire me and I'll annoy you to do stuff. Either way, set up something that will annoy you until you do it. Don't just say you gotta do it, that's all, because if it were that easy I'd be fit and not on Reddit right now. The funny thing is that it's as simple and as difficult as that. When I have something I need to get done but want to procrastinate, I keep telling myself in my head, just do it. Just do it. Within a few seconds I jump out of my seat and get to work at it.